back, day 26 Hayabusa build, and today I have a lot in front of me. I've got to hang the exhaust on, hang the radiators in place, put the forks back in, put the wheel in, put the calipers on, bolt the clip-ons down, also that I can wheel this thing off the bench and put it on the side stand, because I need the bench clear, because in the very next video I've got something extremely special to reveal to you that you haven't seen for a long time. A much awaited final reveal on the Street Fighter build. But for today, I've got to get all this put back together. I've got a lot in front of me, so wish me luck. Let's get stuck in. Right, all this drama is about so far is there's a plate washer stuck on the end of the bolt. I think it's an accumulation of rust and grit around it, and it just won't pull off the end of the bolt. Because I want to replace the bolt with a stainless one, obviously. I just can't get the washer off. I don't want to cut it off because it's a lovely, clean, serviceable rubber bush in there that I want to hang the exhaust on. I haven't got another one. I don't need to buy one. It's in nice condition. Just to get the double washer off. Patience is always the best virtue. It will come off. Right, there we are. One fully refurbished exhaust mount with a stainless fastener. I put rubber lube on the rubber bush, which is in perfect condition. I put some anti-seize inside the tube because it is rusted in there or taken out the worst. There's a stainless fastener in there, so that should help. But with the anti-seize as well, if it ever needs to come out again, I'm sure it would just pop straight out. But it also shows, check out how thin that cast ring of aluminium was. That's cast into the frame itself. It's not a detachable part of the bike. That is literally just cast into the linkage, well, the mount for the short link. It's actually part of the frame. So you break that by hitting it because it's a rusted fastener. you're going to shatter that and you've got nowhere to mount your exhaust, or you've got to Heath Robinson something up and make it fit. It just goes to show, much as impact is a very effective part of removing stuck fasteners, there are times when impact is not appropriate, and if you do use impact or force, it's got to be focused and moderated so it doesn't break things that can't take that kind of impact. But there it is, all ready to go. Let's bolt up the collector pipes. Right, that's the exhaust system, loosely fitted. It's secure, it's not flapping around, but I haven't tightened anything up. The torque setting on these, according to my list, is 23 Newton meters. That isn't much, because when you tighten them in, what they're doing is crushing these gaskets. These ring gaskets, if you can see a close-up, just torn one apart a little bit. You can see they're kind of a collapsible wire gasket. And the minute you crush them, they make a fantastic seal. They don't need a lot of pressure. 23 Newton meters isn't much, and that's an M8, so we've got no issues there with it over tightening. But once you've crushed them in and they've made a seal, that's it. When you take them out again in the future, then you need a new set, strictly speaking. Now, okay, there's a few people already saying I haven't done that, and true enough, in the years gone by, I've been lazy and not bothered, and I've just put a little bit of exhaust silicone round and reinstalled the exhaust, and it's been absolutely fine. You can probably get 2 or 3 fits of the exhaust, but like a crush washer on a spark plug, once you've crushed it, it doesn't uncrush. So I'm not going to tighten those up yet and crush those ring gaskets, because I've got to take this exhaust off in the future. Because this is a rat rod project, this shiny, much as it looks lovely, this beautiful stainless steel, it isn't any good for what I want. I'm going to have to do something about that, and there's a various few things I can do. I've been looking up online, and there are some coatings that you can get that change the colour to a goldy patina. That's quite nice, and it stays there. There's ceramic coating, there's wrapping with all sorts of different products like the bandage and stuff. So there's loads of stuff I might do later in the project to blend these pipes in with the rest of the bike. For the moment, I don't need to bolt them up, because if I take them out, then I've crushed the washers and I'll need a new set. So that's why I've not torqued them up today. And same as everything else under here, nice and loose, so it's all moving around and nothing has to be snapped undone in the future. So there we are, exhaust fitted, now it's bung the rads on. Right, all of this is coming back off in the future, and these are just getting chucked in place for safekeeping. I'm going to replace the hoses, at least both of these, probably that little inner hose as well. And as for the plugs, things like sensors and stuff, I'm going to plug all those in later on. They're all labelled, always the way if you take stuff apart, put a piece of masking tape, label what it is, and when you come to do the final plug together, the final build up, ready to roll it out in the sunshine and ride it, many months from now, then you can just plug everything back in one time without having to plug it in and out all the time, and make the plugs themselves loose and floppy, which is the eventual result of pushing plugs in and out all the time for no particular reason. Right, there we go, that's it, radiator's on, forks in. Right, at this point I wanted to pop my clip-ons on, my proper actual real clip-ons that go around the fork leg, instead of this kind of saddle arrangement that the Hayabusa comes with. But unfortunately I can't do it because I haven't got enough fork leg in this instance. If I put them low down on the fork leg in the conventional way under the top yoke, I'm going to end up with these bars hitting the frame. There isn't enough clearance. I need them a little higher, probably where it would be on top of the top yoke. However, there's no fork leg sticking out to clamp them onto. And if I go dropping the top yoke down or lifting that fork leg up to accommodate that, that's 35mm. That's way too much to lift the fork leg up by. It will severely tip the front in too far and screw up all the handling. So I can't lift that fork leg up. I can't put it on underneath. I've got to put it on top, and I've got to come up with a method somehow of putting a piece of spacer tube on top of the fork leg, something like that. I'll come up with something that works just fine. in the future, but for now I'll just have to pop the bolts back in there, put the saddle back on, because as I've said earlier, I just need this bike off the ramp for the next video. So let's just bolt that back on and call it done. Right, there we are. Now, that's the bike ready to roll off the bench for now. I want to extend a thank you first of all to all of you who've had the patience to stand by us for this one. This last 6 or 7 videos has just been really boring for probably quite a few of you, where it's just removing stuck bolts, re-drilling snapped off bolts and getting past the kind of dramas and disasters that can befall all of us. But I do hope in the process of that, some of you have learned a little something, picked up a few tips that you might be able to use yourself to get yourselves out of trouble. That's what sharing on YouTube is all about. So I hope in that way at least it's been interesting and worthy. Now what I'm trying to do with this bike is get past all the units, all these different units, bearings, bushes, seals, get them all refurbished and 100% so I can forget about them, tick them off the list and get involved in the creative stuff down the line. But I've said that loads of times, so I'll move on from that very quickly. The exhaust system. Now that is a Lex-Tech set of headers. They're available on the net if you look them up, L-E-X-T-E-K, Lex-Tech. It's a system of headers you can buy for a Hayabusa, extremely good quality, nicely welded. It's not up to Yoshimura standards or anything like that, but it doesn't have to be. It's a very good value system. Just over £200, and that will bolt straight onto the bike. Everything fits perfectly, it slips together nicely, and when the time comes I may or may not bother putting a patina on it because it's so hidden behind all of this furniture I can't even see it anyway. So once it's had a few wet rides it may not really be an issue, but as I said, for now everything is softly and gently bolted together, just snapped up where it is and left, because it's all probably going to come apart again like any custom bike build. As time goes on, stuff is on and off, get on the bus, get off the bus, just until you get to that point where everything's done and you do the final assembly with your big torque wrench and you go over everything, you make sure it's all completely safe. Now, like I said at the beginning, in the next video I want to get this off the bench and bring back the Street Fighter. The Street Fighter's bike, that ZX7R that I took 3 long years to make into a project, probably way too long. It ended, as far as you, our viewers, are concerned, all in satin black, plain satin black, just a blank canvas. I did consider taking it to my buddy Mackie and working out another paint scheme with him. I know he could do a legendary paint job on it, but I just wanted something completely unique and different, and I heard about vinyl wrapping. And we were contacted by a company who said, we do vinyl wrapping, we also do it graphics, we do all sorts of artwork and design. So we got involved with them, we started talking with them, and I dropped the Street Fighter off with them about 2 months ago. They have had it for that long while they do all the graphics and turn it into something absolutely show-stopping. I sincerely hope so. Now I haven't seen it, I haven't even seen a photograph of it. It's going to be a sheet drag-off reveal for me, like they do on the TV, so we are going up to their place in a couple of days to collect the Street Fighter, bring it back here, put it on the bench, and we'll try and stop somewhere on the way back, perhaps out in the New Forest, get the bike out, do some cool shots of it. Also, they've done lots of video of the process of them doing the wrapping, so we're hoping it's going to be a really, really interesting video, the next one. It will be a combination of their video footage, our video footage, and showing you the bike, which will be the final NX, the final absolute last video showing you the Street Fighter build that you showed so much dedication and stuck with us through. So there we are, join us for the next one for the final reveal of the Street Fighter build. Take it easy, ride safe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.